Hi, everybody. This is a review for, I believe it's chapter 4, right? Well, it's a review for chapter 4. And for this course, it's the test 3. I have a list. What I did was I looked at the test and then I looked at this review and I said, which questions most resemble the actual test questions? So there are 14 questions on the test on Monday, 14 questions, multiple choice, excuse me, but the answers are there. So you just have to pick the correct one. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 or 13 questions I'm going to do today. So that's going to show you what's on the test. So question 1 is on the test. Let's take a look at question 1. Or something similar to question 1. Okay, question 1 says, so I might change the wording a little to match the test. It says determine whether the function graph is 1-to-1. So this is on test 1, something similar. How do I know if this is a 1-to-1 function? Anybody want to help me out? Anybody want to say yes or no?
Don't you draw a line through the graph?
Yes, a horizontal line test. If the graph crosses more than one spot, then it's not 1-to-1. If it only passes through one spot, like a line that looks like this is yes, 1-to-1. 1-to-1 just says we can take the inverse of it. So no, this is not 1-to-1. There is a horizontal line that intersects a graph at more than one point. So I'm looking at A as the answer here. There we go. If it crosses more than one spot, it's not 1-to-1. If it's only one spot when you draw a horizontal line, yes, it is 1-to-1. Okay, so there's only 14 questions on the test. That's one of them. Just say yes or no. Question number 4 is next. So I'm going to go to question 4. It might be easier just going from 2 to 3 to 4. That's me. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look. And the question's not exactly like this, but it's similar. 2/3 to the x and 27/8. Now remember, in order for us to find x, remember this has a power of 1, the bases have to be the same. So look at 27. 27 is 3 to the 3rd power. And 8 is 2 to the 3rd power. So another way of writing this is, wait, this is an x here. 2/3 raised to the x power and 3/2 raised to the 3rd power. Do you see each one has a power of 3? So the whole thing is a power of 3. 3 to the 3rd and 2 to the 3rd. So the bases almost look the same. One is 2/3, the other one is 3/2. Do you remember that you can flip a fraction? I'm going to flip it. This is a power of 3. If you flip it, then you have to add a negative to the power. So now the bases are the same. That means the tops equal each other. So the answer is x equals -3. And once again, there's a problem similar to this. So I'd come back and like hit similar. It might not be a fraction, it might be whole numbers. Just remember when you flip it, the power changes to a negative, or if you have a negative up there and you flip it, the power changes to a positive. So that's the second question. One's very similar, the same concept is on the test. Number 5 is next. Stop me if you have any questions. Okay, I'm going to write this. I have e to the 7x minus 1. And then I have e to the 5 parentheses x. Now, 5 parentheses x is the same thing as saying e to the 5x. When you have power ratio power like this, you just multiply them together. 5x is the same thing. 5 times x is 5x. So the bases are the same. Look at this. The bases are the same, which means the tops equally each other. Put an equal sign between them. So we have 7x minus 1 equals 5x. And we're going to go through the solving process. So you have to know how to solve for x. That was the first test. Subtract 5x, get all the x's to one side. 7x minus 5x is 2x. Now I need to get the 1 to the other side and the 2 to the other side. You always take the add and subtract to the other side first. 2x equals 1, and then you take the 2 to the other side by dividing by 2. And x equals 1/2. So that's the third question. If you get the bases the same, then the top's equal. If the top's equal, then the base is equal also. You know, if the tops are the same, then the base is equal, and you can put an equal sign there. That's what we learned in that last section. Okay, so that was question number 5. Now we're going to question 8. I'll keep going unless somebody wants me to stop. Question 8. Anything special notes on question 8? No. Okay, so solve for x. If we have a log problem and we're solving it, you change it to exponential form. This becomes, and you got to know how to change this to exponential form. You got to have the formula written in front of you. X to the negative 2 power equals 9. Now we're in exponential form. The negative says flip it. Wait, I'm not going to do that. I don't think we had one like this, or we had similar to this, but whatever you do to one side, you can do to the other. See, I would like it if the negative was on this side, not on the x side, because I want x to stay on top. So this is what I'm going to do. Whatever you do to one side, you do the other. I'm going to raise this side to a negative 1 power, and I'm going to raise this side to a negative 1 power. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2. So this becomes x to the positive 2 power. Here, I just end up with 9 to the negative 1. I'm going to rewrite that x squared equals 1 over 9. The negative flips the 9. 1 power just means don't change it. And then the last thing we need to do is square root both sides. Square root of square, you get x. Square root of 1/9. You can actually put that in your calculator. If you put the square root of 1/9 in your calculator, you get 1/3. Now, remember when you do square roots, you get two answers, 1 plus, 1 minus. But you can't put a minus into the log. You can't have a minus base or a minus answer here. You can, this is the power. You can have a minus power, but you can't have a minus. If you try to put a minus in there for a base, you'll see it won't work. So the only answer is 1/3. And let's see if they explain it a little bit better, but in the help, don't forget about this help. Oh, they're not, I don't think they're doing one similar to this, or are they? Yeah, there's a -5. Oh no, they're not doing, because there's not, it's not a square root. They're not doing plus or minus. So the answer should be 1/3. And you'll see the answer, once again, it's multiple choice. Then the minus won't work. You can plug it in and try it out. I'll plug it in for you and show you that it doesn't work. The x is the -1/3. So this is the exponential form, -1/3 raised to the -2 power equals 9. The negative says flip this. So it's, oh, it actually does work. No. Flip it to a -3. That's weird because it actually does work. Just stick with all positive answers. Stick with all positive answers. I think when we graph it, we show that the y value cannot be negative. The y value cannot be negative, which means the 9 is the y value, can't be negative. But 1/3 is the answer.
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
So for the past these past two questions of problems, you're basically just finding x, right?
Yes.
When we're solving them. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And the way you know you're finding x, the problem says solve. Solve means tell me what x equals. That's all it means. Solve means tell me what x equals. As soon as you see the word solve, tell me what x equals. The next question is 9. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. Watch. Hopefully. Yeah. Yes. Solve. That means tell me what x equals. And this is an easier solve because you change it. You can't find out what x equals in log form. You have to change it to exponential form. And this changes to 3 to the second power equals x. 3 to the second power is 9. And there, we're done. The answer is 9. So that's an easier one when the x is in the number right after the base, because then the x is by itself and you don't have to do a lot of stuff. But all three of these are on the test. All three of these type of questions are on the test. You have to change it from log form or natural log form to exponential form and then solve for x, yes. And that's number 9 right there. Next, we're going to question 12. And I mean, I'm telling you, the hardest part is changing the exponential form. You have to have that formula I wrote down. You have to know that it's always the base raised to the power that's on the other side of the equal sign. Then it's going to equal whatever is right next to the base. That's changing it to exponential form. It's the same rule every time. Question 12 is next. I mean, there's just about all these problems are solved. 12's not. 12 is, and this is on the test. write this as 1 log. So if you guys would, in the chat box, type in A, B, C, or D. Which one do you think it is? A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D? And everybody's typing in A. Well, at least 2 people are. And the answer is A, because when you add, you multiply. So we're multiplying the X and Y. The X and Y are multiplying. A minus means divide. We're dividing the U. A fraction means dividing the U. So the answer is A. All you have to do is pick the correct one. We are going to question 14 next. Find the approximate irrational solution to this. Okay, so number 14 on the test is worded a little different. So remember, this is section 4.5. So just a help. Section 4.5, to find X, to solve for X, our goal is to try to get the bases the same. There's no way to get a 3 and an 8 because 8 is 2 to the 3rd power, 3 is 3 to the 1 power. There's no way to make these bases the same. If there's no way to make the bases the same, we have to do something that we learned on Wednesday of Wednesday? On Monday, 2 days ago. If the bases are not the same, like this one, we have to use the change of base formula. And this, so in order to use the change of base formula for this one, we have to put it in back to log form. So this is in exponential. There's no log here, so it's in exponential. We're going to change it to log form, and this is the way the log form looks. Log of the base is 3. It equals 8, and we get an X here. So now it's in log form, and X equals this. I can't put that in my calculator, but on the test, okay, so on the test, this question will look like this. It will be in log form for you already, and they'll say, use the change of base formula to find the answer. And if you remember the change of base formula, it's log of this, log of the number, divided by log of the base. So this is the change of base formula. And now we put this in our calculator because these are base 10s. It was base 3, we can't put it in our calculator. But now it's base 10, we can put it in our calculator. So I type in fraction, log 8, close that parentheses. On the bottom, I type in log 3, close that parentheses, and I get for X, on my calculator, I get 1.89278. It says 4 decimal places. There's the 4th. Look to the right. Since it's 5 or more, you add 1. So my answer is 1.8928. So on the test, it will say use the change of base formula. 1.29, what did I say? 1.2. I didn't still write it. 89, 1.8928. And that's it. So on the test, you will just see it in log form, or this is the closest I could find. So I'm using this one. On the test, you will see this, and then to say use the change of base formula, log 8 over log 3. Then you put it in your calculator, and you should get this. And it's multiple choice. You just have to pick the correct answer. So even if you round it wrong, you pick the closest answer. All right, that was number 14. Number 22. All right, this is number 22. Now they gave us a formula. Now the formula looks different from mine, but it's the same thing. Instead of K, I used N. I used an N here and an N here. This is my formula. A equals P 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. So this is the compound interest formula I used in class. So it says how much time will, and this is the toughest question on the test, I think. This is, and it's on the test. So you got to be able to do this. There is a question help here, and it tells you how to do it. So on the test, it says 20,000, how much time will be needed for 27,000 to grow to 30,400? This is the future value. You want 30,415 in the future. You're putting 27,000 in the bank. The interest rate is 6%. Compounded quarterly, so N equals 4. N equals 4 and T is T. We have to find T. So it says the amount 27 will grow is so many years. That means find T. T equals. Okay, so here's the process. You need to get the 27,000 to the other side by dividing. So you got 30,417, and you're dividing both sides by 27,000. And this is what we're left with. Over 4t. Next, we need to get this power down so we can solve for t. To bring this power down, the only way to do that is to log both sides. So I'm going to write it, I'm writing too big or too weird. I should have used more room. So now I have, hopefully I don't run out of room, log of 3415 over 27,000 equals the log of 1 plus 6% over 4. And remember this 4t, when you do a log, it, you know, when you change it to a log, that 4t comes down in front. 4 times t. 4t. Okay, there's still more. We have to get the t by itself. I'm now going to divide both sides by this log. And I will put that log underneath here. Log of 1 plus 6% over 4. And I want to get that 4 divided by 4 also. So I'm going to put the 4 down there. I'm dividing by 4 also. So now the t is by itself because I got that over to the other side and I got this to the other side. So this is what I end up with. The same thing I just wrote. Log of 30,415 over 2,700. And logs always had that parentheses. over 4 times log of 1 plus 6% over 4 equals t. This is what you need to be able to put in your calculator and get the correct answer. So I really recommend trying that out. You have to hit fraction, log, fraction again, go to the bottom. So I'm telling you, I think this is the hardest problem. And the whole thing. First, you have to put it in the formula. Then you have to get everything over to the other side and get t by itself, which means you have to change it to log form, then get everything to the other side, and then put that thing I have in parentheses in the square there in your calculator. And I actually did 1 or 2 of these on Monday, or I think I just did 1. So log and then a fraction, 3415. On top, on the bottom, I have 27000. I arrow over and close that parentheses out. Then I type in 4 log, parentheses, 1 plus fraction, 6% symbol, don't forget that percent symbol, over 4, arrow over, close the parentheses, and you have to, it looks like I have to close 1 more parentheses. I'm not sure why that, I think I have 1 too many parentheses. I'm not sure why. I'm going to delete that one. There, so now mine looks exactly as this square. My calculator looks exactly like this. If your calculator, when you're using the TI-30X, if it doesn't look like that, you're not going to get the right answer. And then when I hit enter, if this is correct, my t is 1.9999998. Let's see. My t equals 1.99983. And it says in years, round your answer to the nearest tenth. So it's 2.0 years, 2 years. Let's see if that's right. I mean, it's very possible I got it wrong. No, I got it right. So, I mean, there's so many steps to this problem. I'd go back and watch this video and try to follow through and see if you can get the correct answer. 1.9998 and it rounds 1 decimal place it said, so 1.99 rounds to 2.0 or 2. And I think that's the hardest question on the test. Don't skip it, try to get it. There's only 14 questions on the test. That's one of them. Solving for t. You'll see this formula pop up and it says tell me how many years you're solving for t. There's actually another one I'm going to question. Okay, I'm going to do one more problem. I'm going to do the same problem, kind of. This is on the test. All right. Using this formula, you're going to see this formula, and it's going to say how long does it take to double your investment. So if it says anything about doubling your investment, this is the they give you this formula. This is how you do it. A is the future value. P is the present value. They don't tell you how much you're putting in the bank, but you got to double it. So you can put any amount you want in the bank and then double it. So watch what I do. I'm going to rewrite the formula. I'm going to put P as $1 in the bank. It doesn't matter what you put in the bank because we're just going to double it. KNT, I'm sorry, it should be NT. I use N instead of K. If we put $1 in the bank, my future value will be $2. I'm doubling it. So use one. If you triple, then you put $1 and you got $3. So I'm doubling it. I put $1 in the bank. In a certain period of time, I'm going to have $2 in the bank. So I'm going to put everything. I'm not using these numbers just in case they don't give it to me, because it just says double your investment. Put $1 and then $2. So I'm going to write the whole formula out now. 2 equals 1 times 1 plus the interest rate was 6% up here. I'm going to use that interest rate. Compounded quarterly, which n is 4. Raise it to the 4 times t power. So we're doing the same thing as we did last problem, but we're using these numbers. First, we take the 1 to the other side by dividing by 1, and I'm left with, divide by 1, that's pretty easy. 2 divided by, if I put 1 underneath, 2 divided by 1 is still 2. I'm going to put 2 over 1 is 1 plus 6% over 4 raised to the 4t power. And so 2 over 1 is 2, so I'm just going to leave it as 2. Next, I'm going to log both sides, same as I did last time. Log both sides, 1 plus 6% over 4. When you log it, this 4t can come down in front of it. I'm going to take this log to the other side by dividing by log of 1 plus 6% over 4. And I'm going to take this 4 to the other side by dividing, put a 4 over there. So this t equals, I got this to the other side and that to the other side, so t equals this in my calculator. How long will it take to double? So we're going to try the same thing. Put that in your calculator correctly. Fraction, log 2 on top, log 2, close parentheses. On the bottom, 4 log 1 plus fraction, 6%, over 4, arrow over, close that parentheses. And mine looks exactly like that rectangle there. And it's going to take 11.6 years to double. To double $1 to $2 is going to take 11 years at 6% interest. So you have to, even though they don't give us the final numbers, the future value and present value, if they say your investment will double, just put a 1 in there. If you want to put 1,000 in there, then doubling it means you have to put a 2,000 in future value. It'll still end up being 2 over 1 on the left-hand side. You'll still end up with this 2. No matter what numbers you put here, when you double it, it's going to be 2 over 1 when you take it over. I could have put 85 here, I could have put 85 here. When you double that, that's 170. When I divide by 85, 170 divided by 85 is 2. I would still get 2 no matter what when you double it. All right. And that's 22. I'm going to 23A. 23A. They give us a formula. 400 E, that's 100. E raised to the negative 0.032 T. And it says a sample of 400 grams, there it is, using this function where T is in years, find the amount of radioactive lead remaining. This is the amount of radioactive lead remaining after 3 years. So we just put a 3 in there and we put that in our calculator. Do you see? It's all on the right side. It's all, there's no X's E is a number on our calculator, 2.71, it's there. So we put that in our calculator, 400, then I type in the E. Remember the E is right above the natural log on the TI-30XS. Second ln, which is E, raised to the, I'm gonna put I like to put the powers always in parentheses. Negative 0.032 times 3, close that parentheses, and it looks like I have everything typed in correctly. I get the amount of radioactive decay left is 363.385. It says round to the nearest integer. Integer is a whole number, so it's just 363. All right, and you can do part B and C if you want to make sure. Now you're putting an 8 in there and doing the math, and then C, you're putting a 20 in the T spot and then putting in your calculator. All right, we have 24 to go, and then we have a couple more after. Question 24. Employee wants to invest $50,000 in a pension plan. One investment offers 4% compounded semi-annual. Another offers 3 compounded continuous. Which investment will earn you more? So we're just plugging things in. I'm not going to actually do this problem. I'm just going to show that once again, the formula. The formula was future value equals present value times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. This is the compound formula. And then there was continuous compound. This is compound formula. This is continuous compound formula. And the continuous compound formula is future value equals present value times E raised to the RT. So the present value, you want to invest 50,000. So we put 50,000 into P. 1 plus the interest rate is 4%. Compounded semi-annual. Semi-annual means N is 2. Raised to the 2 times, in 4 years. So T is 4. 2 times 4. So this is the first one. Let's put this in. 50,000, parentheses, 1 plus fraction, 4%, over 2, close parentheses, raise it to the power, parentheses of 2 times 4. And when I put this into my calculator, I get $58,582.97. Okay, now the next one, future value equals the present value, which is 50,000, times E raised to the interest rate. It says this interest, which interest will earn you more interest in 4 years? This interest is 3.75. It's compounded continuous. So it says the continuous one has to be 3.75% for 4 years. Do you see how the formula is different? So I'm going to put that in my calculator, 50,000. I got to go to E, which is second ln, E raised to the 3.75, put the percent symbol in there, times 4. And when I put that in my calculator, I get 58091.71. So if you notice, this one will give you more money at the end. It's 4%. Even though this is 3.75 compounded continuously, this is only semi-annual. The interest rate ends up giving you more money. I'm not going to answer the question. Now, on the test, you're just going to have to do either compound interest, just like this, or a continuous, compound continuous, just like this. You need both of these formulas, right? You should have both of these formulas. And if you forgot the formula, you can go back in the test question. They'll have the formula written there, just like the formula was written in the previous test questions. If we can ever get to them. Well, when we get to them. Yeah, right here. Do you see? Hang on. Right here is the formula. Use N instead of K. All right, so that's this homework review, but there's still a couple questions I want to cover that are on the test that weren't in the homework review. So I'm going to go to my whiteboard right now and cover those. So there's two really simple questions that we need to cover. Can you tell me what this equals? And can you tell me
Wait, am I the host now?
I think his Wi-Fi like died or something.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess that's the end of class.
Right. Did I pause the recording?
Say again?
Did I pause the recording or wait for him to come back?
Yeah, you should probably just pause the recording and he might rejoin or might not. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so there are two more questions that are on the test. Yeah, I just lost power. That is weird. I thought that wasn't going to happen. Uh-oh, something's going on. Until, uh-oh, now I don't know what's going. There it is. Here are the two problems. E to the 1.4 and number 2 ln e to the 8.2. So these are both calculator problems, but they're on the test, and I couldn't find these in the workbook or in the homework. So you have to be able to do these and just plug these into your calculator. So try them. To get to E, you just hit second ln and then 1.4. And it'll tell you how many decimal places to take it. It'll be multiple choice, so you can't, if you type it incorrectly, you can't get it wrong because you just click the correct answer. I get 4.055. And for the next one, you have to type in ln, then second ln to get the E raised to 8.2. So try this one, and when you hit enter, oh, I got an error. Something's not right. ln second E to the 8.2. Oh, I put the parentheses in wrong. The parentheses can't be in the power. It has to come down. And you should get 8.2 when you do that. Anybody need any help? Anybody want to see me type these in, or are you able to type them in? Got to be able to do these. And there's only 14 questions on the test. 2 of them are these where you just type them straight into your calculator. The rest, that time one, that one where you have to find t, that's going to be the hardest because you switch it to log form, you take it all over, you're solving for t. So you might want to watch that a couple times and have really meticulous notes when you do that and mark down every step that you do and then be able to type it in your calculator correctly. All right, that's all I had. If anybody has any questions, I will hang around. Let me hit stop recording. And thank you for pausing.